sent it.
Yeah, she must have forgot that tonight.
Yep.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to tonight's Common Council meeting for December 13th, 2022. Clerk will call the roll, please.
Odekirk.
Present.
Hanson.
Present.
Matsdorf.
Here.
Gilson.
Here.
Hildebrand.
Here.
Wilson. Shilsky. Nelson.
Here.
We let the record show we have a quorum. Next is a pledge. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you and welcome, everyone. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the consent agenda. The chair will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll on the consent agenda, please.
Nelson.
Yes.
Hildebrand.
Yes.
Matsdorf.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Odekirk.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Shilsky.
Yes.
Gilson.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Item 4 is the audience portion where we ask people to sign in and be recognized by the chair. That's where you do the talk and we do the listening. And tonight we have a Mark, see if I get this right, Eisenbree.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. Eisenbrei.
Thank you very much. Welcome. Welcome, Mark. You can stand up where you are. The microphone will pick it up and tell us what's on your mind, please.
So my name is Mark Eisenbrei. I'm with Plymouth Brewing Company, and we're planning an event for this winter. At this point, I don't think there's a bunch of approvals or anything that we need from the council, but I wanted to let you know what we had planned since it'll be sort of a public event in downtown. We're calling it Winterfest. It's going to be February 11th, which is a Saturday, and we're going to have a tent, we think, adjacent to 52 Stafford. It's kind of a partnership between 52 Stafford and ourselves that may also include a few other businesses, Badge Restoration, the Cheese Museum, and the Plymouth Distillery, and maybe some other sponsorships as well. But the idea is just to do something downtown in the cold. There's not too many events downtown. We live in a cold climate. Let's acknowledge it and let's celebrate it at least once. we've noticed that whenever there's an event downtown, it doesn't matter if it's a big deal like Mill Street Days or something less big like Jazz Crawl, lots of people come downtown. And I just don't think we have enough of those things. This is trying to add one more thing to the calendar in a part of the year that is very sparse with events. So that's the idea. It'll be food, beer, of course, a band at night, and possibly a German band during the day, and maybe sporting events more along the lines of like bag toss and simple things, wintry type of sporting events that are just on a small scale. And we just want to get through this first year and have it be successful and do it as sort of an annual event. So that's the main thing I wanted to mention to you guys. The other item is Nut Hill. Nut Hill is our #1 brand, and it's also an important landmark in the city that's been out of service for the last 2 seasons, mostly due to COVID, I assume. And we just want to express our interest in getting that thing up and running. We just think it's a good thing for the community, and just our 2 cents that we'd like to see it up and running. So that's all I got.
Thank you. Thank you. We always encourage citizens to come forward and tell us what's on their mind on any subject. Thank you. Item 5 is not needed. No items were removed from the consent agenda. Item 6, we have 3 public hearings, so we have to go through this in a procedural process. But basically, when we gavel in, I'll have our city administrator, utility manager, Tim Blakesley, to give us an overview and then we'll go through the technical procedures required to vote on each item individually. So with that, I declare a public hearing open for ordinance number 10, an ordinance amending the City of Plymouth, Wisconsin Comprehensive Plan existing land use map and future land areas land use map by changing property from commercial and natural areas to multifamily. So with that, the chair will recognize anybody who wants to speak on the topic, and we'll start off with our city administrator, Tim.
Sure, so I'm going to go through all three public hearings at once to just give a comprehensive rundown. So tonight is the public hearing for the Plainfield Green Development LLC application for a CSM, which is a certified survey map, the comprehensive plan use ordinance number 10, and the rezoning ordinance number 11. What's probably easiest as council and the public, if you've got the packet online, is to look at the picture out there, and I'm kind of going to describe what's going on. So the comprehensive land use amendment, there's an orange area that is outlined, and it's kind of dashed at the bottom because it goes further to the south. That is changing in the current land use and future land use from natural area and commercial to multifamily and residential. So that's the comprehensive land use ordinance amendment. So that's ordinance number 10. So that's the orange area. There's also a rezoning proposed via ordinance number 11. And so that is the slashed red area of the triangle and the remaining part of the triangle area that is not slashed. So that is going to be rezoned from B3 to R4. The reason that needs to be rezoned is because there's going to be a driveway that goes back through that sort of hockey stick, I guess, the stick of the parcel, and there's a wetland back there, so they need an area to turn the road. So that's why that triangle is being rezoned, and then eventually, as part of the next part, combined as part of the next lot. So the next part, the green area, there's going to be a CSM to create lot 1, 2, and 3. And I'll highlight lot 3 in a minute below, because that's the real question that we want to confirm with council. So that's going to create 3 lots, and lot 3 is a landlocked parcel. The other portion of the CSM is to combine the red slashed area, the red triangle area, with the remainder of the orange area to create a singular lot 4, which will be used for a future development. So as I mentioned, the creation of lot 3 creates a landlocked parcel, which is permitted by code, and it's kind of outlined here in the memo. But as part of that, the Plan Commission, as part of the CSM process, recommended, and staff's recommendation as well, is a conditional CSM. And the condition that staff recommends placed upon the parcels is the approval of the CSM with a development agreement for any future development on the property. The primary reason for this is to maintain access to that landlocked parcel, so we have a means to enforce that in the future if it ever doesn't come to pass. But also the development agreement isn't just limited to access. We don't know what the development is going to be at this time. There's been no proposals, so it gives us opportunity to have an agreement, a future agreement in place to help maintain that property and as best as possible. So staff does recommend approval as outlined. Plan Commission did unanimously approve this at the meeting on December 1st, 2022. So approval of the ordinance, the CSM, the rezoning ordinance, the comprehensive plan ordinance, and the CSM. So obviously this is 3 public hearings, but we do recommend overall approval, and I'm obviously happy to answer any questions. It's a bit confusing, but I'm happy to answer questions.
Good. Thank you. With that, we'll concentrate on item A, ordinance number 10 at this point, and anybody else can speak at the public hearing on ordinance number 10. I declare public hearing for ordinance number 10 over. The chair will entertain a motion on the ordinance number 10 as proposed.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 10 as stated.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Any additional clarification with City Administrator Blakesley? Clerk will call the roll on ordinance number 10 as proposed.
Hanson,
Yes.
Matsdorf,
Yes.
Shilsky,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Gilson,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Odekirk,
Yes.
Hildebrand.
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. Moving on, I declare a public hearing open for ordinance number 11, an ordinance amending section 13-1-2021 zoning map of the zoning code of the city of Plymouth. Again, this is related to the same diagram that we had described to us. If there's anybody who wants to speak on this public hearing for ordinance number 11, the chair will listen to them. I declare public hearing closed. Chair entertains a motion on ordinance number 11 as proposed for the rezoning.
I'll take a motion to accept ordinance number 11 as stated.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll, please.
Hildebrand,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Matsdorf,
Yes.
Odekirk,
Yes.
Gilson,
Yes.
Shilsky,
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. Moving on, I declare public hearing open for the certified survey map for parcels 5927-18-21071, parcel 5927-18-21072, and parcel 5927-18-21042. Those were also summarized in Administrator Blakesley's comment to start with. It's all part of the same package. If there's anybody who wants to ask any additional questions or clarification, the chair will listen.
Mayor, I would just add, this is the public hearing that we recommend a development agreement as a condition as part of the parcel 59271821071, and then ending in 0142 and ending in 0172 or 1072. And after the CSM is finalized, this would refer to Lot 3 and Lot 4. So that's outlined in the staff memo.
Okay, so we would, when we have a motion, it would be conditioned on the agreement as stated.
Correct.
Thank you. Do we have any other comment? I declare the public hearing over. The chair will entertain a motion on the CSM for the parcels so stated with the condition of the agreement as stated.
I'll make a motion to accept the certified survey map as stated
Second.
with conditions.
Second. Matsdorf.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll, please.
Gilson,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Odekirk,
Yes.
Hildebrand,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Matsdorf,
Yes.
Shilsky,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. Moving on to item 7, resolution number 12, accommodation for Alderman Jim Wilson. And normally I don't do this, Alderman Wilson, but tonight you're very deserving of having this resolution, and I'll read it. So, with that, you get to listen. Thank you. Resolution number 12 of 2022, a resolution of accommodation for Alderman Jim Wilson. Whereas Jim Wilson served faithfully as Alderman in District 4 upon his appointment on October 9th, 2018, through his resignation December 31st, 2022. And whereas Jim's contribution to municipal government is an indication of his pride in our community, particularly noted in his public service on the Finance and Personnel Committee and the city liaison to the PIC Board of Directors. And whereas it is fitting and right that the city recognize Jim Wilson for his outstanding service to the community. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Donald Pullman, Mayor of the City of Plymouth, on behalf of the Common Council and all Plymouth residents, extend to Jim Wilson their deepest appreciation and gratitude for his dedication and service to the City of Plymouth, and that a copy of this resolution be presented to him. Thank you, Jim. The chair will entertain a motion on resolution number 12 of 2022.
Mayor Coleman,
Alderman Hanson.
I move approval of resolution number 12 of 2022.
Second, Nelson.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Jim, you did a good job. We appreciate your service. Thank you, and God bless and your future endeavors, so thank you. With that, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Congratulations, Jim. Thank you. Appreciate it. Moving on to new business. New business A, announcement of an alderperson vacancy existing in the 4th District due to the resignation of alderperson Jim Wilson. Applicants to complete this term will be accepted until Thursday, December 29th, 2022, and our city clerk, Anna, will give us the nitty-gritty on this and some of the procedures that we have set up for that. Anna.
Yeah, so like you stated, now there's a vacancy for filling Jim Wilson's position. So we are looking to appoint someone. So there will be an interview process. This will be a 1-year term to fill the 4th District, and then that position can seek the full term 2024 by circulating papers and running for election in the spring of 2024. There's applications, and they can turn those in by December 29th. And then all the applicants will be interviewed at the council meeting on Tuesday, January 10th, 2023.
So they should get them in by the 29th if they're interested for January 12th? 10th of 23. Okay, good.
That's when the council will be interviewing them.
Correct. Okay. Thank you very much. We look to fill that vacancy as soon as possible. So if you're interested, contact the clerk's office. Moving on to item B, mayoral appointment of Randy Schwer to the Plan Commission. Moving on to item C, approve the purchase of the lawnmower snowblower from Feldman Sales and Service in the amount of $65,329. I'll call on City Director of Public Works and Engineer Kathy Austin. Kathy?
So this would be to put our order in for one lawnmower and then another lawnmower that will have snow removal equipment for our sidewalks. This was in the 2023 budget that was approved. This would put the order in, but no payments would be made until 2023. And we had $70,000 allocated for these two lawnmowers / snow blowers.
Thank you. The chair will entertain a motion so we can discuss.
I'll move that we approve the purchase of the lawnmowers from Feldman Service for the amount of $65,329.
Second, Hanson.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll, please.
Wilson,
Take his resolution away.
Shilsky,
Yes.
Mattsdorf,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Hildebrand,
Yes.
Gilson,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Odekirk.
Yes.
Motion carried. We should have held off on that resolution until the end. I can see he's celebrating already. Motion carried, thank you. Moving on to item D, approve the EMS Flex Grant and purchase of a 2013 Brown Chief XL ambulance. We have with us tonight Chief Ryan. Chief, tell us what you have here.
So in June, the state released $12 million to be used and dispersed through an application process. Assistant Chief Beebe took the lead on this and wrote the grant. We had wrote for $240,000 to purchase a new ambulance, which we found out we were awarded $89,000 of that. So to work within that budget, we went looking and found a ambulance in Winona, Minnesota. 2 weeks ago from Friday, we went out there, we looked at it, we went and took it through a test drive through the hills of Winona, Minnesota. So it definitely performed well and exceeded our expectations, and we'd be looking for the council to approve the $83,000 purchase of the 2013 Brown ambulance.
Thank you. Chair will entertain a motion so we can discuss.
I'll move that we approve the EMS Flex Grant and purchase 2013 Brown Chief XL ambulance.
Second, Alderman.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Alder Hansen.
I want to thank both of you and the rest of the department for looking for grants, writing these grants, and looking for that information, and job well done.
Any other questions? How do we stand, Chief Ryan, on our budget coverage of this? Did the grant cover everything for us?
The grant's going to cover the entire ambulance. We also have other monies in Flex Grant that we receive throughout the year, or FAP money that we get from the state, which is money we can use to purchase EMS equipment and also EMS training. That's the other money that'll pay for outfitting the rest of the ambulance. So there's no budget dollars other than the money that's awarded to us every year from the state.
Excellent. Good job. Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Clerk will call the roll on the purchase of the 2013 ambulance, please.
Gilson,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes?
Odekirk,
Yes.
Hildebrand,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Matsdorf,
Yes.
Shilsky,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to item E, approve the body worn cameras grant. And we have Matt Starker here tonight, our Deputy Chief, Interim Police Chief. Matt, tell us what you have here,
All right,
please.
thank you for your time this evening. Earlier this year, agencies across the state were notified by the Department of Justice that a $2 million grant was being offered for body-worn cameras. We submitted our grant on October 22nd, and we submitted for the use of 4 body-worn cameras. This is it's a match grant, so basically what it is we would pay half and the state would pay the other half. So we did get approval. They did approve our application. The total amount for the 4 body cameras is $3,300. Again, the state will pay half of that, and then the remaining half that we have, we'll be paying that out of another grant that we received earlier this year for $19,714. So there's really no cost at all to the city. So some of the reasons why we applied for this is now we can give every officer their individual body camera, so there's going to be less wear and tear. Before, where we were sharing cameras and sometimes the battery would go dead halfway through a shift. So now every officer has their own, and we'll also have 3 spares in case anything is damaged or ruined. So again, the benefits of having the body cameras, just some of them are, additional incident documentation, use of force justification, injury documentation to both officers and suspects, and improving police policies and training. So we will be ordering those after January 1st. Again, the deadline ended in begin November, and then purchasing can start beginning of the year, so.
Good, thank you.
Yep.
The chair will entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve the body worn camera grant.
Second, Alder Hanson.
We have a first and a second to approve the body worn camera grant as explained. Any discussion? Alder Hanson?
Again, I want to thank the police department for getting these grants and very important things that the public can see as far as the cameras, etc. So thank you on that. Good job.
Any other comment? Diane?
I just want to say I'm really impressed with you guys. Thank you. Great job.
Any other comments? Clerk will call the roll, please.
Wilson,
Yes.
Shilsky,
Yes.
Matsdorf,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Hildebrand,
Yes.
Odekirk,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Gilson.
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. Moving on to item F, approve the GASB 87 lease policy for the city of Plymouth, Plymouth Utilities. And is Kim joining us on phone tonight?
No, I'll be doing that
Okay.
tonight. Yep.
So with that, we'll have a summary by City Administrator, Utility Manager Tim Blakesley.
Sure thing. So if you have detailed questions about this, Kim is available if we need to give her a call. But in general, the Government Accounting Standards Board establishes reporting standards for local governments. And so this is GASB Statement 87, which was issued in 2017. It was supposed to begin in the COVID years, but was delayed. This really deals with how leases are booked by our accounting staff. And so we have developed this policy. Chris and Kim have done a really nice job with this. Primarily, this policy just pulls exactly from the GASB document as required. We do set our threshold, policy threshold at $50,000 for a lease. So everything below that is just done how we do it now, and everything else above that will be booked per the GASB 87 requirement.
Thank you. The chair will entertain a motion so we can discuss.
I'll move to approve the GASB 87 lease policy for the city of Plymouth and Plymouth Utilities.
Second, Wilson.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Sometimes these things are imposed upon our units of government through the Government Accounting Standards Board, which helps us do a clean audit, keep up to speed on things, and it's something that very few people understand, but that's why we have staff to take care of those difficult problems for us. So that's why it's there and why we have to do it. And these are just some of the things that go on every day that the staff picks up on with our applications for grants, keeping up to speed on different regulations, and that's important that they keep up on those in order for us to have good reports in our financials, which ultimately help us both in the city and utilities maintain our rating. So hats off to them. With that, clerk will call the roll, please, on approval of GASB 87 lease policy.
Matsdorf,
Yes.
Odekirk,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Shilsky,
Yes.
Gilson,
Yes.
Hildebrand.
Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. Next item is be a motion to go into closed session, and we'll have to clear the room for that. Part of our process and procedure. Chair will entertain a motion to go into closed session for the following pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.85 paren 1 paren C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility regarding city administrator, utility manager, and pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 19.85, paren 1, paren G, conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body whom is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved regarding a claim from Jack Rowe and a claim from Catherine Lickstrom? Leichel, thank you.
I'll move that we go into closed session to continue.
Let the record show that we're now back in open session. The chair will entertain a motion from the closed session.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the city administrator, utility manager work plan for 2023 to 2025.
I'll second that.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll, please.
Nelson,
Yes.
Hildebrand,
Yes.
Mattsdorf,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Odekirk,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Gilson,
Yes.
Shilsky.
Motion carried. Thank you. Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn until January 10th, 2023.
I move to adjourn, Wilson.
Second Hanson.
Somehow I knew he was going to say that. Thank you, Jim. We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? We stand